Hi friends, welcome back to another tarot-inspired yoga class. So today our card of choice is the Seven of Swords, which is all about setting boundaries, a very good topic of discussion because we've had some other cards earlier which talked about vulnerability and the importance of sharing yourself with people you love and trust, and how vulnerability and sharing your true self can really help to connect with people that you want to connect with. So the Seven of Swords is kind of not necessarily the opposite, just another aspect of vulnerability that maybe we haven't talked about, which is using discretion when being vulnerable. So personally, I believe that most people in the world have good intentions. Most people want to be good people and do good things and make meaningful connections. But we all know there are people out there that don't necessarily have good intentions with their relationship with you. Maybe you've experienced this before and have been betrayed, and that's what makes it difficult for you to be vulnerable with people, because you've been burned. You've been vulnerable with that person who didn't have good intentions. Maybe they were trying to take advantage of you, take something from you, or use you in a specific way that is just not nice. Those people are out there. So how can we find a way to be vulnerable with people we love without being vulnerable with the wrong people? This is where being discerning with your vulnerability is super, super important. There's something to sensing and feeling out the vibe of someone before sharing everything in your heart, because that protects you. It protects your heart, and it protects you from getting hurt by someone who might not have the best of intentions. So setting boundaries is super, super important, especially with people that you don't know very well yet. Maybe you're someone who likes to overshare. I certainly do. And that can lead to maybe sharing too much with someone too soon. So setting boundaries with other people, with yourself, and how much you share, it doesn't mean that you can't be vulnerable at all. It's just another skill set to add to your vulnerability toolbox. So I hope that is something to think about, something to chew on. When it comes to your yoga practice, setting boundaries is important as well. I know that all of us at some point in our lives have gone to a yoga class and said, okay, I'm gonna push. I'm gonna go 110% all the way, no matter how my body feels, right? You just wanna do everything that the teacher wants you to do. You wanna show you're a quote-unquote good yoga student, right? And sometimes that can lead to doing too much too soon, just like we've been talking about. Maybe you could injure yourself. Maybe you could push your body in ways that your body just doesn't want to be pushed. And, you might feel different one day and different the next day, and it's really something you have to reevaluate every single time you get on the mat. There are days that I can do a bunch of handstands and I feel so good. I could do those arm balances like nobody's business. And then there's other days where maybe I just want to lay on the mat, get some stress relief, and I just don't feel the need to push myself to 100% every single time. That's why we have our yin practice and our vinyasa practice, and every kind of yoga under the sun is there for you, because there is one subset of yoga that might fulfill your needs. So, set boundaries with yourself, set boundaries in the relationships with people around you, and that is the way to a healthy yoga practice and a healthy boundary-filled life. So, in today's practice, we're going to move a little different. So, it's not a vinyasa practice because we're not aiming at 110%. We're not doing any crazy arm balances. We're not trying to sweat today. As you can see, I'm wearing my most comfortable yoga outfit that I own. But we're also not going full on out gentle yin yoga. We're not holding poses for a long time necessarily. So it's kind of a mix of the two. We're going to keep it gentle, but stay in a flow. So join me on the mat. Definitely grab some props today. If you have 2 blocks at the front of your mat, that's perfect. I would also highly suggest a blanket or a towel. We're going to be using this a lot today because we're going to be on our knees for a little bit. So if you have sensitive knees like I do, definitely grab a blanket, maybe 2. And then if you have one, a bolster or a pillow. We might use that at the very end of class. So any and all props you have or none at all, it's totally up to you. And let's get started in our practice in a comfortable seated position on your mat, legs crossed. Or if that's not comfortable for you, if you've taken my other classes, you know you can sit on a chair, you can sit with your legs out or knees bent. Any comfortable seated position for you. And we'll just start with our hands on knees or thighs, close the eyes, sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Coming into our body. Slowing all the thoughts in the mind. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. Today we are going to set boundaries with ourselves and our bodies on the mat. So take a moment, maybe set an intention for your practice today. My intention today is just to listen to my body's boundaries. If something doesn't feel good, even if me, your yoga teacher, is cueing that pose, you don't have to take it. If your body is calling for a different pose, an alternate to what we're doing, then get in that alternate pose. This practice is all yours. We're practicing together in our own spaces, so feel free to modify the practice so that it fits your needs today. One more deep breath in, deep breath out. Slowly blink open the eyes. And we'll do a few side stretches in our seated position, just warming up a little bit. Right hand out to the side, place the fingertips on the mat. Inhale, lift arm up and overhead. Getting a nice stretch through the left side body. Inhale, reach up and over. Exhale, open the shoulder blades. Open up the shoulders towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach. Exhale, open. Inhale, lift back up, reach toward the sky. And exhale, left fingertips down to the mat. Right arm up and over towards the left, stretching through the right side body. Inhale, reach the right arm up and over towards the left. Nice long line all down the right side of the body. Exhale, open the chest up towards the sky. Inhale, reach. Exhale, open. One more breath. Inhale, reach. Exhale, open. Beautiful. Inhale, reach both arms up to the sky. Exhale, bend both elbows. Open the chest, open the shoulders, maybe gaze slightly up towards the ceiling. Draw the shoulder blades together and down the back. This is our open wings position. Inhale here. Exhale, start to round the back. Close the forearms together and bow the head. Closed wings like a bird. Inhale, open back up, arch the back, gaze up, shoulder blades drawing together and down for a slight back bend here in our open wing position. Inhale. Exhale, start to round the back, close the wings, and bow the head. One more time each way. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, close. Beautiful. Lower the hands to the mat, lift the head, and we'll move towards a tabletop position. Wrists under shoulders, knees under thighs. Maybe get a few wiggles in, feel comfortable. We're taking our time, moving nice and slow today. So let's move through some cat and cows, open up our spine. Inhale, arch the back, gaze forward, drop the belly down towards the mat. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, chin towards chest. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. Beautiful. Moving towards a lunge, step the right foot forward between the hands. If you like to use blocks in your low lunge, feel free to grab 2 blocks just to place under the hands. Sometimes that can give you a little bit more space in the torso. Totally up to you. So from here, we're in our low lunge. Gaze forward, spine is long, just sinking into that front hip. Inhale here. On the exhale, start to slowly straighten out the right leg. Turn the toes up towards the sky. Right hip back, draw the left hip forward. We're in our half splits position, getting a nice stretch through the back of the right leg. Inhale, lengthen the spine forward. And exhale, fold over the extended leg. Inhale, lift back up. Move forward to your lunge. And we'll just go back and forth between those two. Open up the hips, open up the legs. Just moving with your own breath. You can take a few breaths in each position or move forward and back with each inhale and each exhale. Totally up to you. Make this practice your own. Take the time in each pose to ask your body, what would feel best in this moment? Because the next moment it might change, right? The answer doesn't always have to be the same with every single pose, every single practice. Our bodies are constantly changing, feeling different. Everybody go ahead and meet in our low lunge towards the front. And then step the right knee back to meet the left. And we'll go on the other side. So left foot forward, low lunge. Maybe you have your hands on blocks, maybe not. Spine is up nice and tall. Sinking into that front hip. Nice, beautiful stretch. Inhale here. Exhale, send the hip back, straighten the left leg, point the left toes up towards the sky. Gentle tug of the left hip back, right hip forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine, gather some length. Exhale, fold forward over the left leg for half splits. Lift up. Bend the left knee, move forward into your lunge. And once again, moving at your own pace with your own breath. Just slowly moving back and forth between low lunge and the half splits. Like I was saying, our bodies can feel different from day to day. Also important to remember that our different sides of each body can feel different. Maybe your left side is more or less flexible than the right. That is totally normal. So you might have to treat this left side different than the right. And that is perfectly okay. You get to decide the rules of your yoga practice. As long as it feels good and there's not any pain, you're not pushing yourself farther than you should, then in my book, that is perfect. That is a perfect yoga practice. One more time each way. Inhale, low lunge, sink into it. Exhale, half splits, fold over that left leg. Lean forward, move the blocks out of the way. Step the left knee back to meet the right, meeting in tabletop. We're going to move towards our first downward facing dog. So tuck the toes and send the hips up and back. Pedaling out the feet. Maybe moving the hips side to side. You can shake the head yes and shake the head no. Maybe putter out through the lips. Any little micro movements that feel good, get you comfortable in your first downward facing dog. Bend the knees and straighten them, or just stay still. Beautiful. Now listen up, gaze at the hands in front of you, and slowly start walking the hands back towards the feet. So we're moving back towards the back of our mat this time, landing eventually in a standing forward fold at the back of the mat, facing forward. You can grab opposite elbows here. Feel free to bend through the knees generously. Widen them out, make room for the tummy. And just let the head hang, sway side to side. Lower the hands down and slowly roll up to a standing position, taking your time, meeting in Tadasana at the back of the mat. All right, I think we're ready for our flow. It's not a super intense flow. This flow is less about sweating it out and more about being conscious of each pose, how it makes you feel, and just noticing every little movement in your body. So very meditative practice today. Grab your towel or blanket. This will be really helpful. And just, whatever thickness you feel like you need, we're going to be kneeling down on this surface here. So go ahead and set it up, try it out, make sure it feels good on your knees. Just about halfway down the mat. Nothing too crazy. Maybe a little bit closer, actually. Okay. So from here, we're in Tadasana. Take a moment. Dial in your alignment. Feet about hips width distance or wider. Slight micro bend in the knees. Lengthen the tailbone down. Slight lift in the pelvis. Nice long spine. Nice long neck. Drawing the energy up through the body, through the crown of the head. Inhale, send all that energy up the body. And exhale, send the energy back down, all the way down into the feet. Feel super grounded. All right, from here, let's flow. Inhale, sweep both arms up overhead. Reach up. Exhale, we're going to fold forward into a forward fold. Send the arms up and back behind you. So hands are reaching up towards the sky. And our torso and our head is bowed towards the body in our forward fold. Make sure your blanket is in front of you. We're going to kneel down. Inhale, lift the arms, bend through the knees. Lowering the knees down to the blanket. Arms reach up overhead. From here, we're going to do a tiny little baby cobra. So not the full expression of the pose, just a little baby one. First off, we're going to open our wings, draw the shoulder blades together, draw the chest up towards the sky. Send the pelvis forward. pressing the pelvis forward, draw the head up and back, chest up, slight baby back bend. Inhale, lift up, sit back on the heels, untuck the toes, arms back, fold forward, head all the way down to the mat. For child's pose, arms reaching behind you. From here, we're moving towards rabbit pose. So if you have not tried this pose before or haven't heard of it, feel free to sit up and look at me for a moment. We'll go through this again in more of a flow, but this is just our getting to know the flow. So we're in our child's pose here. We're going to, you can keep the toes untucked. It's totally up to you, tucked or untucked. I feel like I have more space when my feet are untucked. My knees are about hips width distance. From here, I'm going to draw the crown of my head, the right top of my head, down onto the mat as close to my knees as I can. So kind of squishy. And then grab onto the heels if you can reach them. Press the top of the head into the mat and draw the seat up towards the sky. Draw the back of the heart up towards the sky. Rabbit pose. Beautiful. And then lower back down to child's pose. Reach both arms to the left. Bow the head forward. Reach both arms to the right. Bow the head. Back towards child's pose. Tuck the toes here. Reach the hands in front of you. We're moving back towards a squat pose. So we're going to press ourselves up, land in a squat, arms reach forward. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the legs, send the arms up and back, forward fold, arms reach up towards the sky. Inhale, reach up, back where we came, in Tadasana. From here, cross the right ankle behind the left, and just boop, turn towards the back of your mat. Oh boy, a little scary if you can't see me, but listen to my voice. We got this. From Tadasana, arms reach up, inhale. Exhale, fold forward, this time a traditional forward fold, hands on the ground in front of the feet. Inhale, hands on the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Plant the hands, step back to downward facing dog. From here, step the right foot forward between the hands, moving towards warrior two. So plant the sole of the left foot on the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Warrior one. Exhale, bend through the elbows, open the wings. Inhale, back the way we came, arms reach up. Open out to warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, sink into the legs. Lower the right forearm down onto the right shin, or the right thigh, excuse me. And sweep the left arm up and over the ear for side angle pose. From here, we're just going to do some circles with the left arm. So reach the left arm back towards the front of the mat. Swing it down. You can close the shoulder down towards the mat. Reach the left arm forward. Inhale, back up where we came. Let's do that a couple more times. Sweep the left arm back, down towards the mat. Close the shoulders, reach forward, and open it up. One more time. Sweep it back, down, forward, and back to side angle. Lift up out of the pose, straighten the front leg, reach the arms out. Inhale, tip it back, reverse triangle. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Moving towards a lunge, so lift the left heel up toward off the ground, gaze forward. Inhale, listen. On the exhale, step the left foot forward to meet the right. Forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms up overhead. Cross the left ankle behind the right. Swivel around, boop. And we're back where we started. Ta-da! All right, so we're going to go through that just maybe once or twice more. And now that you know how it goes, we're going to try to keep it in a continuous flow. See how it feels. And then we'll do our little cool down. We're not looking to go super fast. We're flowing with our breath and paying attention to how we feel, how each pose feels, and how we can modify to make it work for our body right now in this moment. So let's do it. Start in Tadasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Get nice and long. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Reach the arms up and back. Inhale, lower the knees down to the blanket. Reach the arms up. Exhale, open the wings. Baby Cobra. Gaze up. Lift up. Reach the arms up. Fold down, Child's Pose. Arms reach back. Rabbit Pose. Crown of the head down. Reach towards the heels. Lift the hips. Lower back down to Child's Pose. Arms reach toward the left. Fold. Reach towards the right. Fold. Back to Child's Pose. Lower the forehead down. Take a breath. Tuck the toes. Plant the hands in front of you. Push off the hands. And we're in a squat pose. Reaching forward. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the legs. Send the hips up. Reach up and back with the hands. Sweep the arms up overhead. Lift the torso. Tadasana. Cross the right ankle behind the left. Turn towards the face, the back of the mat. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lift up. Halfway lift. Plant the hands. Step back. Downward dog. Left foot forward. Warrior one. Plant the right foot down. Sweep the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, open the wings. Gaze up. Inhale, reach up with the hands. Open out to warrior two. Lower the left forearm down. Right arm up and over the right ear. Let's do our arm circles. Circling the right arm forward, closing the shoulders. Sweep it back and up. Sweep the arm forward. Lower it down. Sweep it back and up. One more time. Lower it down. Sweep it back and up. Beautiful. Lift up out of the pose. Straighten the leg. Tip back. Reverse triangle. Cartwheel the hands down. Moving towards a lunge. Lift up on the back toes. Gaze forward. Step the right foot forward to meet the left. Forward fold. Bend the knees. Sweep the arms up overhead. And down. Cross the left ankle behind the right. Boop. Spin around. Face forward. Landing where we started. Let's keep going. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, fold. Arms up. Inhale, lower knees. Sweep up. Exhale, open wings. Baby camel. Reach up. Inhale. Lower down. Child's pose. If you'd like, rabbit, press it up. And lower down. Hands to the left, bow forward. Hands to the right, bow forward. Back to Child's Pose. Tuck the toes, plant the hands, scooch it back, yogi squat. Lift the hips, fold forward, reach up. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, back to Tadasana. Right ankle behind left, turn around, face the back. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back, downward dog. Right foot forward. Warrior one. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, open the wings. Inhale, lift. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, side angle. Reach the left arm up and over. Sweep the left arm down, back, up. 2 more times. Down, back, and up. Sweep it down, back, and up. Inhale, lift up out of the pose. Tip back, reverse triangle. Cartwheel down into a lunge. Step the left foot forward to meet the right. Forward fold. Inhale, sweep it up, arms overhead. Left ankle behind right. Boop, back where we started. Let's do this one more time just to make it easy on each side. Inhale, reach the arms up, gather length. Exhale, fold forward, arms up and back. Inhale, lower the knees, sweep the arms up, bend the elbows, baby cobra. Lift back up, sweep it down, child's pose. Optional rabbit, totally up to you. Lift up, lower to child's pose. Hands towards the left, bow the head. Hands towards the right, and bow. Meet in child's pose, lower the forehead. Plant the hands, tuck the toes, press up, yogi squat, reach forward. Lift the hips, sweep the arms up, forward fold. Inhale, sweep it back up, arms overhead, Tadasana. Right ankle behind left. Turn around towards the back. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, normal forward fold. Inhale, lift up, halfway. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, downward dog. Left foot forward, warrior one. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, open the wings. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, warrior two, sink in. Left forearm down, side angle pose. Sweep the right arm down and back and up. 2 more times. Sweep it forward, down, back, and up. Forward, down, back, and up. Lift up out of the pose. Tip back, reverse triangle. Cartwheel the hands down to a lunge. Step the right foot forward to meet the left, forward fold. Sweep the arms up overhead. Left ankle behind right. Turn around and lower the arms. Beautiful job, everyone. You did a lovely job. We went through that several times. Go ahead and move your blanket out of the way. And we're just gonna do a nice cool down. Let's start with our trusty cat and cow. Maybe wiggle the hips a little bit first. Take a moment, close the eyes, settle the breath. This was not intended to be a sweaty class, but I'm feeling a little glowy. We were still flowing. It was just more intentional flowing. So cat and cow pose. Inhale. Open it up, gaze forward. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin towards chest. Inhale, open and arch. Exhale, round, tuck it in. One more time. Inhale, open. And exhale, round. Beautiful. Tuck the toes and send the hips up and back to downward dog. We're just here to set up for pigeon pose. So you might actually grab your blanket, and if you have one, a bolster. I'll show you how you can use these props in this pose. So the bolster, just set it up right in front of your hands. We're in downward dog. Send the right shin forward. Untuck the left toes. And your bolster can be here, just right in front of the right leg, just so your torso and arms have something to lay on. So we're going to hold it for a moment in our pigeon pose. This makes it a little bit more comfy. Another thing you might want to do, if you feel like your right hip is lifting up off the mat and it just doesn't quite reach down to the ground, grab your blanket, fold it up as much as you need, and just place it under that right hip. Gives you a little bit more stability. Hips are even, be more comfortable. So you can stay upright here. You can lower to the forearms if that feels good. Or just bow all the way down over your bolster or blanket, whatever you got. And just take a moment to appreciate this beautiful hip stretch on the outside of the right hip. Maybe you've heard from another yoga teacher that our hips are where we store a lot of our emotions. So this can feel very intense sometimes, not necessarily physically always. Sometimes it's intense emotionally. I have definitely cried in a public yoga class in Pigeon Pose in front of like a class of 10 people before. So if that is you, I just want you to know I'm right there with you. It just feels like an intense release, especially if you hold a lot of your emotions in. Sometimes it can really help. And this is a great way to find your own boundaries in your body. Do you want to go deep into this pose? Do you want to hold it back? Do you want to use props or not at all? Maybe modify the pose with a figure 4 instead. Go ahead and set those boundaries. Do what feels good. Couple more solid breaths here in pigeon on the right side. And then slowly lift up out of the pose, move your bolster out of the way, plant the hands, moving back to downward facing dog. Take a moment to pedal out the feet, maybe a 3-legged dog, just to shake out the right leg a little bit. Also a good time to notice, does one hip feel different now? Does your right hip feel looser? Does your left hip feel tighter? Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. That's okay too. We're just noticing our body and what it needs. So we're going to move to the other side. So move that blanket out of the way. Step the left shin forward. Once again, if you feel that left hip doesn't quite reach the ground, just grab a blanket or a cushion or whatever you got. Slide it under that left hip. Move around a little bit. Find a good position that feels good. You're getting a good stretch, but nothing too intense. Maybe grab a bolster, lower the forearms to the bolster, or on the mat itself. And if it feels comfortable, you can lower the forehead onto the bolster or one cheek. And we'll just breathe here for a moment. Important to remember that one hip might feel different than the other. It might need something different. I've definitely heard a teacher say to me once, different hips, different lives. Our hips are living 2 separate lives, doing different things. Maybe one compensates for something that the other doesn't have to. There's no right or wrong answer here. We're just noticing what our body needs, every little tiny muscle and body part. All these little tiny muscles add up to who we are. So we might as well give them special attention sometimes in our practice. Try to keep the breaths deep and slow. You can always substitute a figure 4 on the back if that feels more comfortable. Couple more deep breaths on this side, finishing it out. Let that tension go. Slowly press up, back up the way we came. Get that bolster out of here. Plant the hands. Send yourself back into downward dog. Pedal out the feet. Maybe a 3-legged dog. Shake out that left side. Beautiful. Lower the knees down. Maybe grab all your props. Get them out of the way. When we use a lot of props, they always end up all over the room. Okay, let's lay down on our backs. Hug the knees in. Rock side to side. Maybe make some circles with the knees in one direction. And in the other direction, massage out that low back. Beautiful. Lower the feet down. Actually, grab one of your blocks. Haven't really used these today like I thought, but might be useful right now. We're going to go for a supported bridge pose. So think about bridge. Plant the soles of the feet on the mat. Knees about hips width distance apart. We're going to lift up our hips off the mat. Not super high, just high enough that you could slide a block underneath the hips. Your sacrum should be resting right on top of the block. You can do setting 2, like I have for my block, or the first setting 2, if you want to go a little less. Set your boundaries. Decide what would feel best in your body right now. I like to wiggle out my hips, left to right. And just let your body weight sink into that block. No need for you to do the work. We're asking our block to do it for us. Hands can be on the body, or down by our sides, or even in cactus pose. Totally up to you. And just rocking hips left to right. Now, settle your rocking. Send one leg long down on the mat and draw the other knee up towards the body. So you can hug that left knee in and just kind of press out through the ball of the right foot. You don't even have to be touching the mat with this right foot. We're just pressing it out forward. And maybe you can start to feel a little bit of a stretch, a lengthening at the front of that right hip flexor. Don't often get a lot of opportunities to stretch out that hip flexor. It's such a weirdly placed muscle that it's hard to get to in that spot. So this is a great way to stretch through that right hip flexor. You can hug that left knee even closer, lift the right leg up off the mat, and just keep pressing it forward. When you're ready, we're going to go ahead and switch it out. So plant both feet on the mat. In our supported bridge, maybe wiggle it out a little bit. Then send that left leg down long on the mat. Hug that right knee in towards the body. And again, press out through the ball of that left foot. The more length you get in that left leg, the more you might feel a nice stretch on the left front hip flexor. It might be very subtle. You might not feel anything at all. Just see. If you don't feel anything, maybe hug that right knee closer. press that left foot out even more. Slowly bending through both knees, planting the feet on the mat. Press into the feet, lift the hips up off the block just so you can move it out of the way. Lower the hips down. Sway the knees side to side. And we are about ready for our final resting pose, Shavasana. But I do want to offer you one more little different way to do your Shavasana today. If you have a blanket or bolster and a free wall somewhere, I invite you to try legs up the wall. So either a blanket or I like to use my bolster. Take that cushion, whatever you got, press it right up against the wall. Hopefully you can see me. And what we're gonna do is sit down right next to it, right hip all the way up towards the wall. And then it's kind of awkward, but just roll your hips onto that bolster or blanket. Send the feet up long along the wall. Make sure there's nothing hanging on the wall you're going to knock off. And you can get those hips as close as you can to the wall or farther away if your hamstrings are super tight. But legs up the wall is a kind of nice way to do a Shavasana. This is always an option for any of my classes, by the way. You can just let the arms splay to the sides. Let the feet just flop out and relax. There's something about getting the hips just slightly higher up off the ground than the shoulders that kind of triggers a relaxation. Very good for our Shavasana. So this is one option for Shavasana today. I'm going to stay here and finish out class. If you'd like a more traditional vinyasa, feel free to settle yourself down on the mat and just do a more traditional vinyasa however you'd like. Or Shavasana, excuse me. We're done with vinyasas. So wherever you are, settle yourself in. Move around as much as you need to. Get the wiggles out. Set up your props like you like them. No muscular engagement here. Just close the eyes. Take up as much space as you'd like. And we'll stay here in our final resting pose, Shavasana, for a few moments of quiet meditation. Deepen the breath. Coming back to the body, back to the present and your yoga mat. Keeping the breath nice and slow. Start to wiggle through the fingers, wiggle through the toes. Maybe bend the knees and move them side to side, wherever you are in your Shavasana of choice. If you're in legs up the wall, just slowly roll to the side, off your cushion. Come back to your mat. If you're in traditional vinyasa, roll onto your side as well. We'll all meet in fetal pose on our side, arms and legs tucked in. Fetal pose, the pose of rebirth. Take a moment to thank your body for setting boundaries, for telling you what it needs today, because that is its own triumph. Keeping the eyes closed, slowly start to press up to a seat. Meeting in a gentle seated position. Hands on knees or thighs, sitting up nice and tall. We'll end our class, as always, with one big communal breath together. Maybe the biggest breath you've taken yet today. So when you're ready, exhale all the air out of the system. Inhale all the way to the top. Sip it as much air as you can get. And exhale, sigh it all out. Press the palms together at heart center and bow forward to seal your practice. Slowly lift the head and blink open the eyes. Thank you so much for joining me for another tarot-inspired yoga class. I hope you enjoyed this slightly different kind of flow, and I hope you found it illuminating to set some boundaries in your yoga practice, and that you go out into the world and set healthy boundaries and be vulnerable with those people that love you and deserve you. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day, friends.